What's the difference between a hybrid and a UW? Is that what it is? Okay.
So a big part of it is playability. So it's a lot more round. What it does is allow you for some versatility.
Sure.
We wanted something in between that had kind of the great things of both. So forgiveness of a fairway wood, but then sort of the uniqueness of being able to hit out of funky lies with a hybrid.
Right.
I want to hit all three. They're all roughly around the same loft. So looking at like that 3-iron, 7-wood part of the bag.
I actually literally never hit a 3-iron before. I have a 4-iron.
I don't blame you, first of all, because nobody should hit a 3-iron. But let's get into, I'm going to start with the UT. So it's a 22-degree utility iron.
And I feel like this is more of that driving iron, where if you just kind of want something straight, just hit it out there. All right, 3-iron.
3-iron, right out of the gates.
It's actually perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Driving flight.
No, that actually is really
pretty
perfect.
Good. Yeah, right out of the gate.
Well, right, but I hit it solid. Feels good.
Feels
good off the face.
Utility irons are great for, you can do two things a lot easier.
Yeah.
You can flight it down, off the tee a little higher, a little bit more back in your stance, cover it. You can hit the low stinger out there, but then off the deck, it's basically an iron, so you can hoist it up into the air. So let's do this. We're going to walk into the new titanium super hybrid. So this thing's built for speed. The cool part is we added this step sole. So just like the fairway woods with Elite, it helps improve turf interaction, get you higher up on the face so you can launch it high.
Okay.
Let's see how that differentiates between the 2-iron, or the 3-iron, excuse me.
Wait, so real quick, should this go the same distance as that?
So
Are they all trying to go the same distance?
They're all set around the same loft. So we're right in that 21, 22 degrees. Now, because it's a hybrid, it's made of titanium versus like a utility iron.
Yeah.
It's going to go farther. You're going to pick up ball speed because you're going to have some face flexion. You're going to pick up forgiveness because CG's pulled off the face. So it's going to look a little bit different in flight.
I kind of like the way that one felt. I was a little surprised by that one, truly. Yeah, so this one should get more height on it.
Correct.
Okay. Hit that one solid too.
Really good.
Right side of fairway.
Nice little slight push draw.
Yeah. But that one definitely got a lot more height than the 3-iron for sure.
So where the 3-iron had, that was 35.6 yards of height.
Yeah.
You were roughly 10 with the iron shorter. So carried at 197, that carried at 215.
Interesting.
So you're gonna see some like total yardage and carries are gonna be a little bit different, but it's like, what do you need in that part of the bag to make you your best? So that's where it's kind of fun. We have a whole series where you get to pick between 3 different options. So it's about 199 carry. That one got up, I think you caught that pretty high in the face, but that was like 43.6 yards height.
Okay.
So that's definitely differentiated itself from the utility iron. And every player is going to be a little bit different. If you play a very tight golf course with firm fairways, the utility iron might be the best option. Even though it doesn't carry as far, there's going to be run out. So that could be the option. If you get on something that's a little more open or par 5s that you can reach into, you might start to look for height.
That's what I need, is height, because I feel like a lot of the courses that I play, I have like 220 going into a par 5, and it's like you don't want something that is low. Like I want something that like lands a little higher, a little softer.
The Apex UW.
Okay.
So a couple things on that. We've got the speed sole, which is great because that has been huge for elite fairway woods this year. And then we also have the standing speed wave. So there's ball speed gains and there should be really good contact.
Okay, so main difference between this and this?
More forgiving in a sense because the head's bigger. So the Apex UW series was taking a hybrid and a fairway wood and kind of creating something in between. It's definitely more versatile on the sole. If you look, it's got a lot more camber. So there's more radius, so you can open the face, and you're getting some bad lies where you want to, dig it out. You get a little bit more versatility.
Yep. Yeah, way bigger face actually on this one, way bigger head. So then height-wise, which one should technically go a little bit higher? Or are they kind of the
I'm
same?
expecting this to get up a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. That one I hit perfect actually.
Yeah.
Right
Pretty
side
similar
of fairway.
flight to the hybrid.
Okay, curious, what about carry on that?
So that was 223. So we
So
picked up a little bit.
Yeah,
picked up a little bit of distance. Spun at 3,700. So for that part of the bag, somewhere 37 to like 43 or 4 would be a pretty good range. That would be the lower end.
Yeah.
Because again, we're talking about this thing landing into par 5.
And
So you can't have it coming in too hot. So climbing the ladder on height, which is what I'd expect. Like
this is the highest?
Yeah, that's what I would expect out of that. So that spun at 4,500, carried at 206.
Okay, it's a little
So
further.
what I'm thinking, if you go 4-iron, 17-degree hybrid, and then 3-wood, I think what would be interesting is if we gave you a 4-iron in the UT, which would help push it a little bit further away from the 5, so it would create a little bit more of a gap there. But then go to something like a 21-degree in the UW, you'd start to see some spacing, like replace the hybrid that you currently have with that, but then also add a UT. And I think what you'd have is a little bit more, you'd have a friendlier bag on those par 5s.
Yeah.
We're going for 2. You'd have some options because the 4-iron and the new UT is going to launch higher. And then this golf club, you're getting versatility out of it. Bad lies, rough.
Yeah,
you
I like
can do a lot more
the
with
look
it.
of this one, for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it'd be a fun way for you to test and see if it helps you play better, and I think it would. So like that loft, you know, if you hit 10 balls and that's our number, then we'd probably be looking at something the next higher loft up to get a little bit more flight, because it carried 223 and that was going to be running out.
And that's what my 3 hybrid goes. It's like 220, I would say right now. But for me, I think it's a little too low. Like I want it a little bit higher. Landing softer.
So we might look in, you know, maybe a little bit more loft. And that could get the ball up, because the totals, like you carried that 223, that was still a little bit flatter of a trajectory, so there's going to be some run out. And again, if we're trying to use this as a weapon into par 5s, you know, you might want to see a little bit more height.
Agreed.
That was 32.7 on the height.
I feel like out of all of them, I liked this one the best.
Yeah.
Let's see another one. Okay. That struck well. I feel like that one a little bit lower with trajectory.
Yeah. So height came down.
Yeah.
Spin actually came up, so maybe bottom into hair. It still carried 222. But again, I think for you, I think we'd go higher lofted.
Higher loft with this club would be perfect. I like this one a lot.
And a lot of versatility.
Yeah.
Again, that sole is just designed for tougher lies.
All right, nice. Thank you.
Enjoy your new Apex series.
Appreciate it.